Hello, welcome back to another video. It's been a while, been busy. If you want to know what I've been up to or what's been happening, then subscribe to my main channel. The link will be in the description below. But today for you, I have a very special Lego set. The Wolverine's Chopper Showdown from Lego Marvel Superheroes. This has been on my wanted list for years. It's the only Lego set currently to have a Deadpool minifigure. There have been other iterations of a Lego Deadpool, but they've been Comic-Con exclusives. I'll put a couple of them on the screen, and it's one of two main X-Men sets. I say main. There have been, along with this, released in 2012 or 2013, there was a X-Men versus the Sentinel set. And in later years, more recently, there's been a Mighty Micros set of Wolverine versus Magneto. And this year, just a few weeks ago, I think, they've released a Wolverine mech along with Black Panther mech and Iron Man mech and so on. But that was branded as Wolverine rather than X-Men. So yeah, this I managed to pick up on eBay, sealed. There's not many sealed on eBay that I could find, and this one managed to get. So one could say that I've really been looking forward to this.
I've been looking forward to this.
And after countless lengths of consideration of whether to actually open this bad boy up and do a video on it, I even put in a question to a Lego Facebook group where Gavin told me to eat it. So after careful consideration, I decided against that and to do a video on it and open it up. It's smaller than I expected, but I've still really looking forward to it. If you don't know the reason why why Lego stopped really doing X-Men sets and Deadpool, was because the films, especially Deadpool, obviously got more violent and adult, and Lego were like, nah, that's a bit much. But I mean, they still could have done comic ones, like, this is comics. But I guess it's because of people would obviously just more associate the characters with the films. So yeah, let's some quick facts. It's ages 6 to 12. I'm 18. It's set number 6866, and it's called Wolverine's Chopper Showdown, and it has minifigures of Wolverine, Magneto, and Deadpool.
Captain Deadpool. No, just Deadpool, yeah.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and open this up. Yeah, this I think it's at retail back when this was first released. It was quite cheap, relatively cheap, I think. Probably about like 25 pounds or dollars. And especially because of the Deadpool minifigure, this set has gone quite up in value to where I paid £140 for this, which to most people is probably excessive and not worth it. But I mean, to me, everything's worth differently to different people. So yeah, there's that. That's, I do miss when when the Lego boxes were thicker and more durable like this, because I think this has been almost a decade sitting in someone's home, and like the box is in perfect condition when it arrived to me. I was literally like expecting it to be all dented and stuff. Oh, it also got a little comic based on this set and other sets at the time, which is interesting. They don't do these anymore. Obviously, they haven't done these for a long time. And obviously the instructions as well. So gonna go ahead and build this now, and get back to you once it's done. Don't mind me just interrupting this little time lapse to tell you that in the description of the video, or most likely the pinned comment, will be the average Bricklink prices for all of the sets and that I've mentioned in this video, and as well as the minifigures of the set that I'm reviewing and the other two Deadpool minifigures that I've mentioned. I was going to put them in the video, but I decided against it because I thought it would be just too much on the screen, so check out the pinned comment. Right, well, now that's done, I can go through what the set is. There's obviously the main attraction, the Deadpool's helicopter, or chopper, as Americans tend to say. It's a relatively simple build. With this large propeller is relatively loose on there. Obviously does spin quite a bit, but obviously it's only really on through those kind of, so it would be very easy for it to knock off. Then you've got obviously these little propellers. These are these shoot out. I'm not going to do it because I will lose them. And these also hold Deadpool's katanas for when he's in, because if he's in, the swords would be too large to fit in the cockpit. There is also space in the back for any extra things, or a minifigure like Wolverine. I think the box art really, so like Wolverine jumping off his motorbike as Magneto is controlling the bike, and Wolverine lands in there. And then wheels on the bottom. So it feels quite solid, but flimsy at the same time, if that makes sense. It's it's a it's a playset. There's not really much else to describe it. And then we have Wolverine's motorbike, which is just a normal motorbike. Nothing special about that. And Wolverine himself, and Magneto on his little pod. As for spare parts, there's a few remaining. One of these Technic axles, a trans red stud, a trans white stud, a little grey, light bluish grey stud, a reddish brown slope piece, and an extra pair of Wolverine's claws. As was the case with any set that came with a cape, back in the day, it came in this little box to keep it from getting creased, and Magneto's helmet came in this little pouch to keep that from getting scratched up against all the other bricks. So it's a good set. Now moving on to the minifigures. We have obviously Magneto there. He's obviously got no printing on the legs. It wasn't. I mean, it was pretty common back then, but I think obviously if you don't need it, you don't need it. you can see some reflectiveness on Magneto's chest from his breastplate and his six-pack abs and his helmet, which we're going to take off to show his face. That is, I don't know if that'll focus, but yeah, that's his face. That's relatively calm face. Then we have an alternate expression, which is angry and would be the fight face. We also have, if I move the cape around, some back printing to show the rest of his plate and to show his spinal region, which is very nice for an 80-year-old man. The helmet is probably one of the best pieces I've seen, like, period. Its mold is unique. I'm pretty sure this is a unique piece. And obviously the detailing, the little kind of purple detailing for Magneto's comic book look. It reminds me of the old style Django and Boba Fett helmet jetpack molds with the space in between rather than a visor. So yeah, he's no arm printing. I don't think none of them have arm printing. Arm printing wasn't very common at this point in Lego history. So yeah, that's red and purple combination for Magneto. Then moving on to Wolverine. He has got sporting his comic accurate yellow and black jumpsuit. He's got these the adamantium claws and his iconic hairpiece, which also used to be used for the Joker, and it was also used on a vampire, I think. So now is pretty much only used for Wolverine now. He has got leg printing, some little black detailing at the top to continue the look of the jumpsuit going down. On his back, he's got quite detailed back printing with his cowl being unhooded and resting. It's a shame we don't get the cowl piece, but then I guess with that back printing, it wouldn't make sense if he was wearing his cowl and then had his cowl down. Yeah. I think we do get his cowl in the X-Men versus Sentinel set, though, because that's a slightly different Wolverine. The belt actually is a little bit reflective, which is really interesting. His face, if I take off his hair, is relatively calm, kind of just grumpy. Wolverine face, really long sideburns and big eyebrows and a little bit of stubble as well. And then we turn that round and we see his angry fighting face, which is really, really nice. And then let me just pop Deadpool out of his helicopter to have a look at him. Oh, yes, his torso is simple, obviously based on the comic book version rather than the movie version. Although a movie version of Deadpool would be brilliant. It would be so, especially now, it would be so detailed. But even for these old days, standard is brilliant. Leg printing for the pouch. He's also got back printing. He's got this sheath for his sword. I'll show you that at the end. Yeah, back printing to show the rest of the belt. Lot of pouches there. Really a lot. And that is pretty much it, really. What's interesting to note, though, actually, is that for these minifigures, I'm not sure about nowadays. I think nowadays most heads are like this. I think nowadays with completely like blocked off, whereas these have slightly blocked off, but still like air holes for if a child swallowed a Lego head, that they wouldn't choke. Or if it got stuck, air would still pass. But it's interesting to note that Magneto and Deadpool have those holes, but Wolverine doesn't. I'd find that a bit strange. How in the same set some do, some don't. But I guess I may well be that it's just different for each variation, each set maybe. Yeah, that is it. I think overall, I think it is a good value for money set, even nowadays when it's with its inflated price. I think it's was it history piece, I think, and I think Lego should do more X-Men sets, more Deadpool, more Wolverine, please. Really, really want it. That's what he looks like with the katanas in the sheath. What's interesting to know actually as well is we almost always, I don't know about the comics, but in the films at least, almost always see Deadpool with like 2 pistols, but they give him 1. Where I mean, Lego is pretty easy to source this piece. This gun piece is pretty common, so it's not too much of an issue. It was just minor thing that bugged me. But yeah, I think it's really good, really good value for money. Quite cool. Definitely glad I got it, and definitely glad I opened it.